Every Father's Day sparks within me a great deal of reflection on the meaning of that title. The label of father morphs and changes as the winds of time shift the sands of life. Those tiny little hands that hung onto mine have grown and become the guiding hands of a new generation we can only hope will help shape peace and decency in a turbulent world. Dads can be so different. There seems no single mold that fits more than one of them. Each has their own approach to parenting, sometimes effective and other times not. However, when you consider the enormity of the position, it can feel overwhelming. Webster's defines a father as a man who has begotten a child, and for some, that is about as far as they ever take the role. I think Shakespeare was onto something when he said, "It is a wise father that knows his own child." The hitch is knowing a child, to father it, can be like trying to mentor the tide in the sea. The problems and experiences of life pull at the youngster's development and can influence the relationship it has with its parents. The rise and fall of the parent's effectiveness can seem as different as boiling water and ice. Fathers are providers and protectorates for their young offspring. They chase away the boogeyman from under the bed and ward off the real predators that approach the front and back doors. Still, despite diligent efforts to stop those threats, evil sometimes wins. The memories of those failures can pursue a father until his last day. A little twinge will squeeze his heart as he wonders how badly the ghost of those bad experiences haunt his child. And then the youngster begins to learn. Knowledge is a wonderful thing, but recognizing just how much a child knows versus how much they pretend to know can be a tricky job. The independence a father tries to instill in his child to teach them self-sufficiency can seem to backfire. That is when a delicate finesse is needed to navigate those clashing emotions as an adolescent tests new boundaries while a father tries to hold on to the reins of discipline as gently as possible to avoid hindering healthy development. Mark Twain said, "When I was a boy of 14, my father was so ignorant I could hardly stand to have the old man around. But when I got to be 21, I was astonished at how much the old man had learned in 7 years." There is nothing more rewarding for a dad than seeing the face that once held a tiny toothless smile turn into a smiling, successful adult, to know they have made achievements and autonomously own their own destiny. A father may often want to provide that occasional bit of unsolicited wisdom that can appear intrusive or meddling, when it is actually a remnant of those early days when those little arms wrapped around his knee in a hopeful embrace while asking probing questions about life. Fathers begin their task as a young life depends upon him to survive. Ironically, if he is successful, that role often shifts and dissolves over the decades until he seems to be an obligation. Those holiday visits can become expected chores for the younger adult, now making his or her own way. Then, as that young life needed him so desperately in those early years, the father may need his child to help nurse him to his end. That job can be tricky, as now it is up to the child to try and do the right things while preserving dad's dignity. So on Father's Day, when my girls call to say hi, I want them to know I'm grateful to them for allowing me the ability to attempt to fulfill one of life's most rewarding roles, because without them, I would never have had the chance to feel the proud and delightful moments that come with being a father.